Hey, what's up, guys? Gangsta Jeweler here. So today we're going to be working on a ring. It was referred to us from Value Pawn. Didn't actually come from Value Pawn, but they referred the person to us. And it's a nice ring. I'd say that's probably about I'm just guesstimating, but that center stone's probably like a 40 pointer, maybe a half carat. It's hard to say for sure without measuring. I'm just kind of ballparking. But at any rate, what we're doing, let me go ahead and cut this tag off. We're sizing it up to an 8.5. And let's go ahead and cut this tag off of here. But we're sizing it up to 8.5. Right now, I believe it is. So right now it's a 5. You can see it sits right on a 5. And we're going 1, 2, 3.5 sizes. So we're going all the way up to here. So we're going to have to add gold to this for sure. 2 reasons. One, because it's going up so far, we have to add gold to it. 2, it's got stones in it. And you don't want these stones to loosen. You wouldn't even dare try to stretch this out to make it an 8.5. You're gonna have to add gold to it. And like I said, and you can't tap it up on the bottom like some of the other videos I've done, because then you're gonna thin the shank out. Only time you can tap it is if you're only going like quarter size and a half size. If you're going 3/4 sizes or bigger, you need to cut it and add gold to it. It's just the only way you can do it the right way. But let's go ahead and cut this open. So we're going to go ahead and cut. Okay. And we got it cut open. Now what we need to do is go ahead and open it up. And we're going to get as close to an 8 3/4 as we can, or 8.5. I'm sorry, not 8 3/4. Sorry guys, I'm having to readjust the camera here a little bit. It's sitting weird for some reason. Oh, now I know why. Hold on just a second, guys. That stupid strap come off of my camera strap here. That's why it ain't sitting very well. I was wondering why it was going off to one side like that. Hold on guys, bear with me here. We've had a malfunction. A technical malfunction. Hold on guys, I'm on pause the video. I gotta fix this strap real quick. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I think we got that fixed now. So, back to what we were doing here. Well, I think I got it fixed. I hope so. Anyways, back to what we were trying to do here. Okay, so we got this at, god dang it, this thing is still kind of loose on me. Let's see if I can't tighten it up a little bit here. No, that's loosening it there. There we go. That feels a little better. There we go. Alright guys, now we can maybe get back into the video here. I'm sorry, we're having some technical difficulties with my strap here on my camera, but we got the ring cut. And what we need to do is we need to open it up to about an 8.5, so all the way up to here, and we're going to go ahead and open it up. Keep opening, opening, opening. Keep opening, opening, opening. Keep opening, opening, opening. Well, that's a big piece we're going to have to put in there, huh? Pretty wide piece at that. But we're going to have to open. And we're going to go a little bit past the 8.5 because we don't, with the piece that we put in there, we don't, when we're trying to weld it in there, we don't want to put a lot of pressure on that piece. So we want to make sure that it sits at about an 8.25 fairly easily before we go trying to weld that in there. So we're sitting at about 8.25. So you can see we're going to have to put a piece of gold in here and here. Now by the time we're done, you shouldn't even be able to tell where we put the piece in at. But let's go ahead and, now what we need to do is go ahead and file these sides down. And then we're going to have to put a piece of gold in to bridge it. But let's go ahead and do that real quick. So but first we need to go ahead and file the sides down on it. And file the side down on this side. All right, now we need to see if we have a piece that will fit in here. Let me take a look here. Let's take a look at this piece here. No, that's going to be too small. Yeah, that's going to be too small. Where is... I honestly don't know that this is going to work either. Be nice if it did. Yeah, that's about the right thickness too. What I need to do though is I need to cut this part here off. Let's cut that section off right there. Cut that part off. And cut that part off. There we go. Perfect. All right, let's take a look here. Yeah, that is just about right. Got to cut just a little bit off of that though. Just a hair bit off of that. Yep, that will work perfect. It will, it will. Okay, so now what we need to do, so we need to go ahead and file these sides down, and we're going to cut a groove on each side of this piece. I like to file it down and then cut a little groove. Okay. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other side here. I'm going to file that down. And we're going to cut us a little groove. All right. Now I want to look at how that is going to sit in here. Oh yeah, that's going to sit perfect. All right, let's see if we can get our piece locked into the ring here. All right, we got our piece in there. Now, obviously our next step is going to be, no, we don't have our piece in there quite yet. Not quite. Okay, we got our piece in there. We got it locked in there. Okay, now what we need to do is go ahead and weld the piece in there. So we're going to go ahead and put a fire coating on it. We got to dip it in boric acid denatured alcohol. Put a fire coating on it. And I plan on letting them know about this video. This way, if they want to watch the whole process of how it gets sized. It's really amazing how many people don't actually know how jewelry gets sized or how rings get sized. And they see it and they're like, oh crap. I didn't realize you had to go through all that to get it sized. And we're going to have to burn that off. That'll burn off. That puts a nice fire coating over the ring. I'll let that burn off. And we need to go ahead and cut us 2 pieces of solder here. 2 pieces of yellow gold solder. Okay. And we need to put us some flux on here as well. Okay. Now it's time for us to weld that piece in. So we're going to go ahead and grab our solder here. And we're going to go back and forth on the ring. Let that flux burn off a little bit. And then oh, you bitch. Did you see that? That stupid piece blew out on us. Damn. That's a perfect example of why that piece we just put in there, you see how it blew out? That's a perfect example of why you don't want to put too much pressure on your piece. I'm going to pause the video real quick, see if I can find that piece. If I can't, then we'll just have to get another one. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I couldn't find that piece. It's no biggie. We'll just look for another one. I was hoping I could find it. I'll try to look for it again later. But that was a prime example of too much pressure being on the piece when you're trying to weld it in. So we need to open that up just a little bit more. There wasn't a whole lot of pressure on it, but for whatever reason, it did not like that. But that's okay. That was just our piece that blew out. So nothing major. But at any rate, let's see if we can find us another piece to work with here. Nothing super major. But what I do need to do you know what, guys? We might just have to make some sizing stock for this thing. We just might have to. Let me do some more searching in here. It's not big enough. Put that in there. Well, what we might have to do, guys, I don't know if I have a piece big enough. We might have to melt some of this down and make us a piece. I knew I had that one piece that would work just fine, but let's see. Yeah, that's a fairly That piece might work, but I want to look some more here, just see what else might be in here. Well, alright guys, plan B. I'm going to pause the video one more time, see if I can find that piece. If I can't, then we're going to have to make us some sizing stock. But I'll be right back. Check it out, guys. I found that piece. Thank God. We ain't got to make some sizing stock. Alright. This time we're going to try to make sure that it don't have as much pressure as it did this last time. It did have a little... It had very little pressure on it, but sometimes even just the slightest pressure will cause it to blow out on you. And there's just nothing you can do about that. So, at any rate, we are going to get this taken care of regardless. Alright guys, sorry my camera decided to take a crap on me. I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties today. Anyways, so we're back with this ring. And what we're trying to do here is let's go ahead and get it open back up where we need it to be. Let's go ahead and get it opened up where we need it to be. And let me look at my pieces here again. Let me take I need to take a ball peen hammer real quick and try to see if, maybe not a ball peen hammer, I need to try to straighten this piece out a little bit. Let's open that up. What I need to do is I need to get this piece bent straight a little bit. Which I guess it really doesn't matter, because once I get it on there, once I have it welded on there, I should be able to get it straightened out. Or is this piece going to be better? Yeah, that piece is not going to work there. That piece will work. So, just need to get it straightened out a little bit. That's what I need to do. Let Let me get some different pliers here. Yeah, after this though, I will definitely need to make me some size and stock, some more size and stock. And maybe we'll make a video on that. Trying to straighten that piece out a little bit. Nope. It's trying. I don't want to pinch my fingers. Well, we dropped our piece again in the drawer here. It's okay, we got it. That's why it's good to have a drawer at the bottom, because you're gonna drop stuff. It's just part of the game. Just part of the game. All right, let's go ahead and file these sides down a little bit and go ahead and cut a groove into it. And then we can straighten the shank out later. Cut us a little groove on the end here. File that down, cut us a little groove here. All right, let's see how this is going to sit in here. Make sure it's not as tight this time, preferably. Alright, now we don't have a lot of pressure on that, so we should not have an issue. But let's go ahead and dip this in boric acid denatured alcohol. Let's go ahead and set it on fire so that can burn off. Go ahead and let that burn off. And let's go ahead and cut us a couple more pieces of solder here. Okay. And then, of course, we need to get our flux here. Get our flux. And we are ready to weld. Let's see if we can go ahead and get that piece welded in there, preferably without the piece blowing out this time. Like I said, I didn't have a lot of pressure on it to begin with, but sometimes that just happens. But let's go ahead and heat our piece up here. We dropped our solder off the pick. Let's go ahead and heat our piece up. Heat her up, heat her up. And just to make sure that this doesn't blow out on us like the last one did, or last time, I'm going to see if I can get it to pull through just slightly on one side, then pull through slightly on the other side, and then we can finish welding. Okay, it went ahead and pulled through okay on that side. Now we just need to pull it through the other side. All right. We should have our piece welded in there now. And hold on guys, I have screwed up here. Let's flip that out. There we go, zoom out. We got our piece welded in there now. And like I said, it is a little crooked at the moment, but we're going to straighten that out in a second. Like I said, by the time we're done, you're not even going to be able to tell where we added the piece at. Now this is diamond, so we're not worried about putting it in water. Now if those were CZs or gemstones, you would not want to put that in water because you would shatter the stones. But what we're going to do is we need to take a ball peen hammer and go ahead and even that out now. Make that straight again. Almost there. Almost. All right, that piece is pretty straight. Now, a couple things we need to do. We need to first see how close we are, which we know we're not going to be super close because we got to round it out. We're going to use our rubber mallet. Okay. We're going to use the rubber mallet first. Now we need to use the ball peen hammer to kind of get this out to where we want it. to straighten this shank out just a tad over here. Okay, now you can see we're starting to come back into form now. Little by little here. And we are not quite to our size yet, so we need to tap it a little bit more. Okay, we are getting there. Now on this particular ring, we're going to tap it just a little bit this direction. And we're almost to 8.5. You can see we're a little bit over 8.25. We'll still have to straighten this shank out just a tad. Okay, and we're going to tap it this way a little bit. And you want to make sure it's the right size on both sides of the ring when you flip it over. All right, so you can see we're starting to come into form now. And we're still not quite at our size. We're at 8.25 right now. We need to get to 8.5. So we need to do a little bit more going up here. Just a little bit. And I know these people probably when because I'm going to let them know that this video is up. When they see it, they're probably going to be like, oh my God, I didn't know you had to do that to my ring. A lot of people are surprised at what all is involved in sizing a ring and fixing jewelry in general, really. A lot of people are just surprised. They just like, I had no idea you had to do all that. You know, but we're here to educate. That's what we're here for. Now we're going to do a little more tapping here on the bottom. Okay, do a little more tapping. Okay, now we're gonna pull a little. I'm gonna pull a little bit more solder through this one side, real quick, just because I'm not really happy with how much it pulled through. So we're gonna set it back on fire real quick and flux it up and pull a little more solder through there. Just because I'm not overly happy with how that turned out. So let's go ahead and flux that up real quick. And I am going to go ahead and zoom you guys in. So it looks like it kind of pulled through the top and the bottom okay, but the side here, not so much. And I don't really like that, so I want to go ahead and take care of that now. Okay, I think that will be better. Let's take a look real quick. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Let's go ahead and pull that off. And we need to go ahead and straighten this back out a little bit. First though, we need to tap this again on the side. Okay. Okay, we are almost where we want to be. Not quite, but we are almost there. Round out these sides with the rubber mallet here. And round these sides out here. The rubber mallet, real good. Okay, we are at like a tight 8.5 right now. Kind of a tight fitting 8.5. Tight fitting 8.5. But we had to go up a lot on this. So we went from here, 5, all the way up to here. Almost an 8.5. We're not quite there. It's like a tight 8.5 right now. Okay. We are pretty much right at an 8.5 here. Eight and a half. Kind of a tight 8.5. Now I know they're probably going to watch this and be like, "Oh man, he's beating on my ring." You know, that's just the way it gets size. And gold's a very soft metal, so it is very flexible. But I mean, I do get why some people would, you know, they flip out, because I mean, it is kind of a shocker when they see what all's really involved in sizing a ring. It is a shocker. I can understand that 100%. Alright guys, so we are at an 8.5. So we're at an 8.5 on that side. And we are at an 8.5 on that side. And we got our piece in there. And you can see we're starting to come a little more uniform, but by the time this is said and done, you won't even be able to tell where we put the piece in at. So now there is a little bit of cleaning up we need to do over here. Just a tad, nothing too crazy. But, yep, 8.5. 8.5 and an 8.5. Let's do a little more tapping just real quick. Now we're just beating with the ball peen hammer if we have to hit the sides, and or I mean the rubber mallet if we're having to do the sides, and the ball peen hammer if we're having to do the very bottom, if we need to make it a little bit bigger. Okay, that should be good. 8.5. Okay. Now we're not going to do any more to it because by the time we clean this up and file it down and everything, it's going to be pretty much where it needs to be. I do need to do a little bit more tapping on the side here, make the shank a little more straight. There we go. A little bit more on this side. There we go. Yeah, I like the way that looks. Okay, what we need to do is go ahead and file the... Let's go ahead and turn our torch off. Now what we need to do is go ahead and change our cutting disc to a inside rock that we can kind of grind out the inside real quick, make that a little more even. Sorry guys, I'm trying to keep you in focus here. Okay, now let's switch to our outside rock. And we will go ahead and file down the outside of the ring on the back side here. Okay, you can see we're starting to get more uniform now. Now the next thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and take our metal file. Let's go ahead and get rid of that for a second. Before I do that, I want to check the size again. 8.5. Yep, 8.5. 8.5. Okay. Let's do just a tiny little bit of tapping here for a second. Okay. All right. All right, let me straighten this shank out a little bit more. There we go. We're looking good, guys, looking good. All right, now what we need to do is go ahead and file these sides down. Basically, we want the sides to be even with the shank. So, with the rest of it. And basically what we're doing is we're just blending in our sides. We want the sides to be even. Like I said, by the time we're done, you shouldn't even be able to tell where we put the piece in at. You can see we're starting to come into shape now. But that is the main goal. You should not be able to tell where the piece is that you put in if you do it correctly. Okay, let's go ahead and do this other side real quick. And remember, we don't want to push real hard because we're just trying to file to make the sides even with each other. We're not trying to groove into the ring. Okay? We're just trying to blend the piece in with the rest of the ring on the sides. Like I said, once everything is said and done, you should not be able to tell where our piece was even put in at. Okay, we are almost there, guys. Now what we're going to do is we're going to run the file across the top here. Kind of get the rough edges off the back end. Okay. And you can see by us adding gold to it, we have not changed the thickness of the shank. Now see, if we had tried to beat the bottom and try to go up 3 sizes, you wouldn't have much of a shank left. You just wouldn't. And then we're going to run it across the top just a couple times. Just to kind of even that out a little bit. All right, we are ready to go ahead and smooth out the inside of the ring. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and switch to our inside silicone wheel. And we're going to go ahead and smooth the inside of this ring out. Oh yeah, that's looking good, guys. It is looking good. It is looking good. All right, we got the inside smoothed out. Let's go ahead and hit the outside of the ring and the sides of the ring. We're just switching to a different silicone wheel. Let's go ahead and clean the outside of the ring now. Alright, let's come to the other side over here. Get it nice and cleaned up. Alright, it's looking good, guys, looking good. Looking good. Alright guys, let's hit the rest of the bottom of this thing. Okay, now let's hit the sides of the ring here. Okay. I am definitely liking the way that is turning out, guys. looking exactly the way it should. Alright guys, let's hit this other side now. Yeah, it looks good, man. It's looking good. Alright guys. We are exactly where we want to be. So now you can see we got our piece in there. We've got it blended in real nice. You can't even tell where we put it in at. And that's the way it should be. So what we're going to do now is we got to go drop this into ultrasound real quick. And then we'll go, we'll be back and we'll come polish it. But we'll be back in just a second. Hold on, before we do that though, let's double check the size one more time. 8.5. 8.5. So we are good to go. Alright guys. Let's go drop this in ultrasound and we'll be back and polish it. We'll be right back. Alright guys, we're back with that ring. So before we go polish it over on the buffer, I want to hit it with the buffer on the inside, get this inside cleaned out a little bit. So let's go ahead and take care of that real quick. And then we'll head over to the buffer. Let's go ahead and do that first. That is my dog making that whiny noise. Yeah, that's already looking better there on the inside. Oh yeah, much better. Much, much better. Oh yeah, much better. Oh yeah, that looks 1,000 times better in there. You can see how nice and polished that looks underneath the head there. Oh yeah, that looks good. All right. Now that we got that part taken care of, all right, now that we got that part taken care of, now we can go over to the buffer and do the rest of the ring. But we got that inside looking better now. But let's go ahead and head over here to the buffer. Let's flip our power on here. And put us some rouge on. It's a little bit cold out today here in Florida. A little bit nippy out. But nothing too crazy. See that difference? Look at that. I bet you they ain't even gonna know that ring could look like that. They thought it looked good when they bought it. They really gonna think it look good once they get it back here. Ooh, that looks good. Boy, does that look good. It's a nice looking ring, it really is. I know this guy's wife will definitely be happy. Alright guys, well, let's go ahead and hit the rest of this ring now. Alright, let's hit the sides of the ring now. Look at that. Dang. Look at that. Damn. Looking good. Shit, I'm not female, but I almost want to wear it myself. Alright, let's take the rest of this side. Look at that, man. Look at that. Damn, guys. We're almost too good. Alright, let's hit the inside of this ring real quick. Alright, guys, we've got her nice and polished. Let's get the inside a little more. Get this inside just a little bit more. Alright, guys, take a look at that. Man, it's a nice ring. But we got it nice, clean, and polished. Let's go drop it in ultrasound, get all this rouge off of it. And then we will come back and look at the finished product, guys. We'll be right back. Alright, guys, we're back with that ring. You can see we got it all nice, clean, polished. Looking dang good, man. Look at that. That ring is nice. Turned out real good too. I'm definitely pleased with that. Again, trying to keep my fingerprints off this damn thing, if I can. But this is the Gangster Jeweler, guys. We sized this from a 5 to a 8.5. So we went up 3.5 sizes on this bad boy. And I am trying everything I can to keep my damn fingerprints off of this thing. Shit, I might even transition to wear this myself. I'm joking, guys. I would never transition, man. That's not me. But that's a nice ring, man. His wife will definitely be happy with that. But this is the Gangster Jeweler, guys. This is another repair down. If you'd like and subscribe, that would be fantastic. If you'd like to leave a tip or donation, I'll have the link for that down in the description. Although that is not required, I just appreciate you guys watching. I got my mutt there in the background there. If you're in the Jacksonville area, I do highly recommend that you check out, if you're looking for jewelry, check out Money Miser on Blanding Boulevard. If you are in the Jacksonville area, if you're not, if you're going to be in a different state and you're looking for jewelry for Christmas, I highly recommend Stellar Jewelry. I'll have the link for that down in the description. But also, if you'd like for me to do your repairs, you can check out my Etsy shop, which I'll have the link for that in the description as well. And also, I do have a reaction channel that's just kind of starting, and a Twitch stream that's just kind of starting. They're nothing big, but if you want to tune into those or check those out, you can. But this is a Gangster Jeweler, guys. And we got another repair down, and we'll have many more to come, I'm sure. As a matter of fact, I got a bunch of them. I haven't even edited the videos or nothing, man. But anyways, this is a Gangster Jeweler, guys. I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.